Hey guys, Keegan Smith here from Real Movement Project. I'm going to talk to you about a 28-day fast that I'm 7 days into, and I'm going to show you why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, and maybe even encourage a few other people to take on this challenge. Okay, so let's start with why. It's really about, one is that this is something that's been done all throughout history. The greatest men in history, it's the one thing that they agreed on. Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, all these guys fasted and they encouraged other people to fast. They wrote about it extensively. The ancient Greeks, deeply believed in fasting for people who are unwell and thought it was gluttony to go beyond one meal a day. The ancient Romans as well. And these were people who peoples who built armies and conquered massive areas and constructed huge things, and the legacy of these civilizations is really what you can see in Europe right now. What was built in the Middle East, same deal. So the concept goes back a long way, and somehow it started to be lost in modern culture with the fading of the importance of religion in Western society. It's just not a part of what most people are doing right now, and most people can't think of anything worse than stopping eating. I love food. It's not about not loving food. It's about loving yourself and loving humanity. That's really the motivation for this. So first thing is health. All those traditional texts, ancient texts, Hippocrates, go back to learn from these guys, and they all talk extensively about fasting as a key medicinal tool. Dr. Fung is a really leading diabetic doctor, nephrologist, who's gone against everything that he learned, and he's teaching the world about fasting. He's putting a lot of science behind it, and I'll link to his work because it's very, very powerful. So the health side is a very powerful one. Paul Bragg is another guy who's been a huge influence on me. He's a big believer in fasting. Now, this doesn't mean go and stop eating right now. Stay tuned, because I'm going to go through some of the details and how we need to do this intelligently. It really depends on what you've been doing, on what the path forward for this is. Some of the other freedoms, this is a movement towards freedom. Freedom farms fast, all right? So the goal for Real Movement Project is to have farms around the world where people can come and experience a holistic approach to living, organic food if they're not fasting, an amazing place to train, amazing people, and the idea will be actually that eventually people live on these places, and we create an alternative to the city living where there's more connected society. If you look at social studies on what makes people healthy, small communities and connectivity is really the key. So we need to work back towards that step by step. We're going to get there. That's the big picture here. Time freedom. Okay, so all of these freedoms are things that we're working towards. Some of them are directly related to fasting, but generally this is kind of the goal in life, is to increase your degree of freedom. Okay, so more time freedom is what we want. I live in the place I want to. I present. I do the things that I want to. Sometimes I have to do things that I don't want to do, but for the most part, I have time freedom. I invest the time in the things that I value. Financial freedom. Okay, so we live in a time of abundance. The idea that there's not enough and that we should be living poor and frugally is just false. What we need to do is figure out better ways to build for the collective. Our current system isn't trying to solve the how does everyone on planet Earth live an amazing life. It's trying to solve another problem, and so this moving towards this system of financial freedom is what my goal is. Basically what I want for me, I want for everybody. So I want financial freedom, I want geographical freedom, to be able to go places, experience things, to have physical freedom, have a capable body, be able to do all sorts of things, highly skilled, strong, all those things. The community creates freedom as well. The more connected you are, the more freedom you have, the more possibilities you have. And discipline is another big reason why I'm doing this fast, and one of the keys here to become free is you have to be able to control yourself. If you want to achieve any of these things, it's about putting habits in place that are going to bring us towards those things. If we can't discipline ourselves to build habits and do the things that we love, then we're not going to get to where we want to go to. Okay, so it's moving away from addictions. Some addictions that are really common in our society right now: sugar addiction and processed food, highly addictive. The studies show that sugar is preferred to cocaine in some mice studies when they're addicted, hooked in. So it's no wonder society is in the state that it is. 2/3 of adults are obese, and we know that obesity is highly correlated with cardiovascular disease, cancer, heart, diabetes. All of these things increase massively. Okay, so doctors' drugs, addictions to doctors' drugs. Most people over 65 on 6 to 8 medications. That's not good. That's not the way we're meant to be. Nature designed us perfectly to live in balance. Nothing in nature is on pharmaceutical medications. We've messed up here. Philosophically, we've messed up, and we're pushing a system that doesn't work. So social drugs, another big one. I'm probably not as worried about social drugs as I am about drugs coming from doctors. Having worked closely with doctors, pushing drugs on athletes, in the rugby league scene, it's a very bad situation. Anti-inflammatories, sleeping medications, and it's ruining lives. It's very bad, the situation that's being created there. Massive use of antibiotics. It's a cascade of things that leads to poor mental health, poor physical health, poor performance. It's something that we need to fix. So social drugs, being addicted to social drugs is not good either. There's a lot of them I don't think are as damaging as the drugs that doctors are prescribing, but we still want freedom. We don't want to be like, I have to get this stuff in my system, otherwise I'm not going to be able to function. Junk media as well. Okay, so addicted to TV, to crappy movies that are filling us with the concept of competition and war and just poor social relationships, social modeling. All that stuff is junk, it's addictions, and it's things that are pulling society down. Okay, so even people who, like me, who are trying to learn as much good stuff as they can and help people as much as they can, we can get addicted to information and be bang, smashing information into the brain all day, podcasts and stuff, and then it means we don't actually go out and do what we're meant to do. Okay, so what we're meant to do is create. Our purpose here on earth is to create. We've been given gifts. We should explore those gifts and create with them. Everything that the abundance, everything that's around us right now, from the pen to this phone that I'm talking into, ideas that have been brought into creation. That's what we're here to do. We're here to do God's work. God's work is creation. So next we'll be talking about fasting, but this gives you, I guess, a background. I believe that physical fasting is going to bring us towards these things and move us away from the things that we want to get away from. So that's an introduction of why to the 28-day Freedom Farms fast. Okay, so I'll talk to you next about the details of how we get this done.